In this course, we'll explain in details Forticlient EMS Endpoint Management Server, previously called Enterprise Management Server. First, we will know what is a Forticlient and what is the Forticlient EMS, and what are the features that Forticlient provides and other applications do not provide, which make Forticlient as one of the effective and amazing endpoint network security solution. After that, we will explain how to install and uninstall Forticlient automatically on the endpoints via the EMS server and how to do provisioning. Endpoint provisioning consists of all steps of configuring the EMS to install Forticlients on the endpoint and pushing the configuration to the Forticlients. Also, we will explain in details each security feature of the Forticlients. While we are configuring the EMS, we will learn how to resolve the issues and how to do troubleshooting. Next slide. First of all, what is Forticlient and what is Forticlient EMS? A Forticlient is a program or application. Software is a security software or application which can be installed on the endpoint. Whatever the endpoint is, a Windows, Mac, Android, or iOS. Okay. Forticlient has many security features and managed by the FortiEMS. In a typical or standard network security solution, you may have one software for VPN, one software for malware protection, one software for web filtering and application filtering, or one device for web filtering and application filtering. But Forticlient is a comprehensive network security solution that provides antivirus and much more, such as anti-malware, anti-exploit, cloud-based malware protection, and removable media access, and many features. We will talk later about each feature. So, Forticlient safeguards your system with advanced security technologies and provides a single management console. EMS, single management console, means it's a console to manage all of your Forticlients, which is EMS, Forticlient EMS. How EMS manages Forticlient, we'll see during our course, but for now, we'll give you some examples. First one, you can install and uninstall Forticlient on the endpoints automatically via the EMS. This is a good feature, especially if you have hundreds or thousands of endpoints and you don't want to configure each Forticlient on each endpoint. Okay, you can configure all of the Forticlients just for one time on the EMS and push this configuration to the Forticlients. So if you have EMS here, and you have many devices or hundreds, thousands of devices, Forticlient application or security solution or software is installed on all of your endpoints, whatever the endpoint is, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android. Okay, EMS can configure all of these Forticlients from one management console, which is the EMS here. Okay, this is one of the good features. Second example, you can configure the Forticlients here for antivirus protection and doing antivirus scanning and cleaning the viruses and malwares. We will explain later during our course what are the difference between malwares, viruses, and different types of attacks. Third example, you can configure Forticlients for threat protection or vulnerability protection. What is a vulnerability? A vulnerability is a weakness in a program that can be exploited by cyber attackers. Okay, so how to configure or how to protect your endpoints from threats or vulnerabilities via the EMS. You can configure the EMS to protect your endpoints from exploiting the vulnerabilities and patching the vulnerabilities. So EMS can do patching for the vulnerabilities. What does it mean, patching? Patching means updating these applications to protect your endpoints from being attacked by exploiting the vulnerabilities. Another example, or the fourth example, you can configure Forticlient via the EMS for web filtering and application filtering. For example, if you want to block a YouTube application, you can configure the EMS here to block YouTube application and push this configuration to all Forticlients in your network. So if one of the endpoints try to access or try to use the YouTube application it will be blocked here from the endpoint, from the Forticlient itself. Okay. Also, you can configure the EMS to do web filtering. Means if you want to block, for example, Facebook.com website or a group of websites in the same category. For example, you want to block a social media category. Means if any of the clients or any of the users here try to access Facebook.com or Twitter.com, okay, it will be blocked by the Forticlient. Why? Because we configure the EMS to block social media websites, and we push this configuration to the Forticlients. So when the Forticlient endpoint try to access these social media applications, it will be blocked by the Forticlient. So the traffic will not go through your network devices, routers, layer 3 switches, firewall, and then blocked. No, it's blocked on the end device itself. This is web filtering, application filtering. I explained also application vulnerabilities, which I said that some application has vulnerabilities or weakness that can be exploited by the attackers. So we can protect our endpoints from the attack using these vulnerabilities by patching these vulnerabilities. We will talk later in details during our course about each feature. Another feature is VPN or SSL and IPsec VPN. If you have hundreds of Forticlients here and you want to configure each Forticlient for VPN, okay, the VPN is abbreviation for Virtual Private Network, and it's used to access your internal services, the servers or the websites, internal websites inside your corporation, okay, via VPN connection. So these Forticlients will establish an encrypted tunnel to your firewall or VPN gateway. Okay, so in your Forticlient, you have to have the IP address of the VPN gateway, for example, firewall, and the certificate. We will talk later about all of these configuration. But for now, you have to know that you have to do some configuration to establish a VPN connection to your VPN gateway or your firewall. So if you have many or hundreds of Forticlients, so you don't want to configure this VPN configuration, okay, on each endpoint. You can configure this configuration on the EMS and push this configuration to all of your Forticlients. This is one of the amazing features. Central management means you can manage all of your Forticlients or all of your endpoints via the EMS. Another feature is, for example, removable media access. You can block USB ports. For example, you don't want the users to connect their hard disks or flash disks, so you can do that. Last feature here, it's not the last feature, but one of the features is central login, which is very important here, and we will explain that in details later. But for now, we'll give you some examples. For example, if one of our endpoints wants to access a website or blocked website such as facebook.com, you will see in the EMS that this endpoint and the information of this endpoint like computer name and IP address and the time, this endpoint tried to access this website and it has been blocked. Okay. Another example for central logging, for example, one of the endpoints downloaded a malware file. Okay. You will see in the EMS that this endpoint downloaded a malware file, okay? The IP address of the endpoint, the time of downloading this malware file, and the name of the endpoint. Let's explain this. Many single-purpose endpoint security software applications lead to high cost and complexity, which means if you have application for VPN and another application for malware protection, another application or device for web filtering and application filtering, that will lead to high cost because you will pay license for each one and increase the complexity inside your network. This is what I explained, that this standard security software can provide basic protection, but endpoint security such as Forticlient, okay, it provides antivirus and much more antivirus such as anti-malware, IPS, IDS, cloud-based malware protection, web filtering, application filtering. All of these we will talk later during our course. This is the first part of our introduction. In the next video, the second part of our introduction. Thank you for watching.